What's up guys, Kimichi here, and I got you guys a tutorial video. So lots of people have been requesting about my video quality in Battlefield 3. What's my color corrections, what's my HD rendering, what program I use to edit the videos. So I'm going to show you guys what's my settings and all that stuff. And the program I use is called Sony Vegas Pro 11. And we're going to drag in a simple sample clip from campaign. So I'm going to show you guys how I do all these stuff together. And let me pick a moment. So we're going to pick an action moment here. So here's lots of actions. You can see all that stuff. But the first thing I do whenever I start Sony Vegas, I will go to my clip, highlight the video track clip part, and just all you have to do is right click on it, go to switches, and disable resample. This will get rid of all the ghosting and makes it more aligned. Your lines will not be lacking any, probably some lag on it, but get rid of all that lag and all the ghosting. So you want to do that first. There's a huge difference I see when I forget to disable it, but make sure you disable resample. Just remember, it goes to switches and disable resample. So moving along, we're gonna go to file. We're gonna go to properties. Now you want to have these type of properties. So I do watch this in 1080p. I record in 1080p, and my computer can handle 1080p. Now if your computer can't handle it, you probably can go down, drop a couple of resolution, like say for 720p is 1280 by 720. There, let's get that. So if you get that kind of resolution, you play on that resolution, you record on that resolution, you can shoot for that. But I go for 1920 by 1080 because I record in 1080p. Once you got that done, make sure your field order is none. Your pixel aspect ratio, I put a square. I don't like these other settings, but make sure it's on square. It makes it original. Keep the output rotation normal. Now frame rate depends on where you live. PL is where the UK and all that European stuff, but I live in North America, so the North American frame rate is 29.97 NTSC, or you can go for 60 frames, which is double NTSC. Now if you don't record up to 60 frames, do not click on this. Click on 29.97 NTSC, and as always, you can always customize your frame rate. You can put 45 or anything, but I go for a double NTSC. So go for that. Stereoscopic 3D mode, leave it off. Got nothing to do with 3D. Now make sure this on default it should be 8-bit, but make sure it's full range. This will give out all the color you need. So get that in full range. Composite gamma, it doesn't matter. You can pick one or another. I shoot for video, but if you go for linear, it should be darker. The color should be darker. But I shoot for video because I like brightness, so everyone can see on YouTube. Full resolution rendering quality, make it best. Gaussian blur. Blur type you can choose any. This is something different, but leave it Gaussian. The interlace method, make sure this is none. Make it off. None, anything, just as long as none, you'll be fine. Now, once you're done with these settings, the audio, I put to, at default, it should be 16, but I put to 24. Resample and stretch quality, make sure it's the best, because we're shooting for the best quality you can for the audio and video at the same time. Audio plays a major role, and the other three tabs, leave it as alone. So video, everything's fine, and audio is fine, 24-bit. Now, once you're done with these properties for your project, click on this checklist box, start all project with these settings, so these will be saved. The next time you open Sony Vegas, it will be the same properties. You don't want to mess around with them. So apply, press OK. So once you get your video up, now you can see a little bit playing. Now I got the video up. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to head toward the video FX tab. I'm going to go to color correction. Now this is optional. This is my favorite color correction. I do my own color correction, so this is optional. You don't have to do it, but all you have to do is drag the default, put it on the video track right here. Now these are my settings, but you can play around with it. See, like saturation deals with color. If you add more, you can see the color adds on. Gamma deals with light, brightness, and same as gain and offset. They all have to do with brightness, but they have different aspect with different brightness. But these are my settings. I will go for 1.250 for saturation, 1.350 for gamma, 1.200 for gain, and then you want to shoot for a -20 offset. So these are my color corrections. And to save this preset, name it whatever you want. Go to the top, go to preset, name it like something whatever you want to call it. I call it FX. What's it called? FX color. You can name it whatever you want. You can name it Battlefield 3 color corrections. And then all you do is just save, and it should be right there. So it should be right there in your thing, and all you have to do is drag it every time you create a new project. Now these color corrections does not always work on every map, so don't if it's too dark or too bright at certain maps, just mess around with the settings, fine tune it, whatever you want to do. But these are my favorite settings, and I personally think they're fine tuned to a point that I enjoy it. The color and appearance is all personal opinions, guys. So do not depend on my color corrections. You can mess around with it, do whatever you want, variation. That's just my color corrections. You can copy my settings you want. So once we're done with color correction, we're gonna finalize the project, which is by rendering. So we're gonna go to the top left corner. We're gonna hit render as. Now, our render as, there's different types of render types that Sony offers. Most people go for Windows Media Video, but I shoot for Sony AVC/MVC because the files are much smaller and I think the quality looks a little bit better in some ways. So you're gonna open this tab up, and we're gonna click on AVC HD 1920 by 1080 50i, wherever you want. Any one of these, just click on. I'm just gonna click on this one, and what we're gonna do is customize the template. So customizing the template, depending on what you render on, you want to render on what YouTube offers is 1080p and 720p HD. So for 720p is 1280 by 720, and 1080p user is 1440 by 1080 or 1920 by 1080. I would say 1920 by 1080 is a better 1080p, is the way to go, because 1440 looks stretched out a little bit. I don't know what to say, but it's a weird resolution. But 1920 by 1080 or 720p is my preferred resolution. So since I'm doing this in 1080p, I'm gonna render in 1080. So I'm gonna click this one. That's the resolution. Now to change, you gotta change the frame rate. Make sure your frame rate is correct with the project settings. So if you remember what you are, I chose double NTSC, so I'm gonna choose that one. Now YouTube does say that it only goes up to 30 frames from what I heard, but I don't care. I just want to render 60 frames because I think it looks a little bit different even though it's 30 frames. So that's my personal opinion. You can go for 29 frames. I think the file size is much more smaller, but it doesn't matter. Now the quality that makes the biggest difference is the bit rate. Now the bit rate, the maximum is almost 26 million. This is the maximum bit rate, the maximum quality you get. So the higher number, the better quality you get. Now the thing is, the file might come out big, but I usually shoot for the highest quality. If you want to look for a lower file size, but at least save some quality, I would say about 15 million is fine. 15 to 26 million is probably the best. And if you don't want to go for anything bigger, the bare minimum I would say is 10 million before the quality looks really crappy. So I would say I'm gonna go for the max because I personally go for the max always. And once you get that bit rate, you choose any bit rate. Like I said, the higher the number, the better it is. The lower the number, the drop in quality. So make sure it's high, at least high, or maybe a little bit low. If you have really fast internet, always go for high since you can upload really fast. Now it does come out with big files. If you have a weak computer to render this video, I might want to go drop it down because a weak computer won't not work out. So we're gonna head toward the audio tab, leave it as is, system tab, leave it as is. Now go to project. Now video rendering quality. Make sure this is on the best. Make sure it's on the best, okay? Once you're done, all you have to do is go to templates top and then name it. You can name it whatever you want. You call it Battlefield 3 render setting. Render settings. And once you're done with naming your render settings, check everything is fine. All you have to do is click the save, and it should be in your render settings right around. Right here. See, so every time you open up a project and you're done everything, the color correction, all the disable, resample, make sure to disable it. Like I said, once you're done, you just go up here, render, and it should be right here. So you should have a preset, and all you have to do is press render. It'll be rendering, and I'll show you at the end what it looks like.
City.
thanks for watching this tutorial, guys, and if you guys got any questions, leave a comment below. I'll try to answer as much as I can through my own prior knowledge of Sony Vegas, or any other tips you guys need, or if request more tutorials on something like this. But I'm glad to be happy to add more tutorials, and thanks to Super Wob Dub, he's the one who actually requested this type of tutorial, so I gave you guys a thanks. And anything other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and later.